Live from the Hornets' Nest on the campus of Sacramento State, it is time for Hornet Gymnastics. Hello, everybody. Brian Berger alongside Dallas Smith as Sacramento State welcomes in a pair of Pac-12 opponents in the 21st ranked Arizona Wildcats along with the Oregon State Beavers. Sacramento State opened the season 2 weeks ago here at the Nest, taking on UC Davis in a duel. They then went across the causeway for the NorCal Classic, where they faced San Jose State and another pair of the Pac-12 teams in Stanford and Cal. And Dallas, it doesn't get much easier today for the Hornets. They face two teams that are traditionally ranked in the top 15 in Stanford and Cal, and they get a couple of other powerhouses right now. Oregon State always up there, and then Arizona's been a resurgent program the last couple of years.
Absolutely not easy for the Hornets in these back-to-back meets facing Pac-12 teams, but it's amazing competition. It's great to start out the year against such tough competition. You set yourself up knowing exactly what sort of standard you need to hold to keep yourself competitive to make a regional at the end of the year.
The Hornets will go with mostly the same lineup they've had the last few weeks, and we'll see a couple of new additions to the lineup today. But one of the factors for the team for their long-term success, Jordan Brent, who's gone off to a very good start.
Yeah, Jordan is an awesome all-arounder for the Hornets. She brings senior leadership. She is really strong. She's a very powerful gymnast. She is a very quiet leader. She leads by example through her tough mental game and strong skills. So it's great to see her having success in the first two meets this year.
Now, facing a couple of teams that are ranked again for the second consecutive week, it's obviously you're not competing against them as far as an offense, defense like you'd see in other sports, but is there some sort of intimidation factor you think when you go against teams that are ranked in the top 25?
I think so. There is definitely a different sort of energy that Pac-12 teams bring. They know that they are the best of the best in the country, and sometimes that is a little bit intimidating. But gymnastics, like you said, it's not an offense-defense, so you are able to stay in your bubble, so to speak, a little bit more than maybe a different sport facing tougher competition. So hopefully the Hornets use the big energy that the Wildcats and Beavers will bring as motivation to perform at a higher level this week.
For Sacramento State in this first rotation, they will go with the following: Kelly McLeod, Tara Couture, Destiny Watley, Bella Lamidi, Alexis Belkoff, and then Jordan Brent. Hornets are slated to have a pair of exhibitions in Taylor Weber or Peyton Gillen. We'll see if either one or both compete there. But vault so far has been a bit of a struggle for the team in the first two meets. Obviously, start values in the new scoring system have been, or the new judges' rules have been a little bit of a problem. But what does Sacramento State have to do to get going on vault?
The start values are really what set the Hornets back a little bit on this event. Just being a little bit stronger in the basic vaults and the basic skills, and then upgrading the vaults so that they will start from a higher start value is definitely a necessary step the Hornets need to take as they progress out throughout the season. As far as today, just dynamic height off the table, stuck landings, perfect form in the air. Since they do start from lower start values, they want to give themselves absolutely zero deductions for the judges to take.
Arizona will open up on bars with Maddie Layden, Heather Swanson, Haley Hendrickson, Mackenzie Kane, Zaza Bravandani, and Christina Berg. And then Oregon State will start over on balance beam: Destiny Davis, Isis Lowry, Kayla Bird, Lacey Doggin, Maddie Doggin, Mayla Lazaro, and then an exhibition from Jenna Domingo. So an interesting choice for the Beavers, given the option to start on either beam or floor. They elect to go right off the bat and go with beam.
Yeah, beam traditionally for the Beavers is one of their strongest events. They have a very consistent team. I think they had a hit routine, so to speak, rate of like 95% last year, which is absolutely incredible. So they do not make many mistakes. Starting off with beam, getting the toughest event out of the way first, I think is a great strategy. And then Arizona starting on bar is one of their strongest events too, expecting big scores from both of those teams right off the bat.
Yeah, Oregon State, one of the few teams I've seen in their media notes they put out, they actually list the hit percentages of their gymnasts throughout their entire career. And it's not broken down event by event, but so far this year, a lot of perfect 100% out there, a couple that are 6 for 6. And then even in the career side, you've got two gymnasts with a career hit percentage of over 97%. Isis Lowry at 97.1, Maddie Doggin at 97.7. But putting it out there for everybody to see is a lot of pressure.
Yes, consistency in college gymnastics is the name of the game. Those perfect routines are what you need to put up each and every time.
Hornets are starting on vault. Here's Kelly McLeod.
Kelly will start the Hornets off with a Yurchenko layout. Chest a little bit down again. Starting from those lower start values, you want to give absolutely nothing for the judges to take. So getting a little bit more height off the table, stuck landings is what the Hornets need to produce.
We'll jump to bars. Maddie Layden now up for Arizona.
Right off the bat, Maddie starts with her release combination, Shapash up to the high bar with that pack salto down. She has a beautiful toe point. You can see that extension. On bars, the judges are looking for those perfect handstands. A beautiful release. Lots of difficulty packed into this routine. She finishes it off, full pirouette, double back. Beautiful landing. Great way for the Wildcats to start off their first rotation.
Jump to beam now will be Destiny Davis of Oregon State. We're going to keep it isolated on the first gymnast for all the teams, and then after that we will follow where the action takes us, primarily focusing on Sacramento State. But now Destiny Davis for OSU.
This is a huge routine. The first routine off any event really sets the stage, and especially on balance beam. Destiny is a senior. She has a lot of experience on this event, has once been an anchor in the lineup, so she knows how to perform under the highest level of pressure.
Former club teammate of yours.
Yes, it is great to see her having so much success for the Beavers. Very proud former teammate. I was very excited to see Oregon State on the schedule for this year, selfishly. It gave me a chance to watch her live. She has a beautiful routine so far, just a few small balance checks throughout. Beautiful full turn. Great front toss. You see her attacking all of her skills, very confident. Finishing it up, just the dismount left. Front gainer full off the end of the beam. Tried to hang on for that landing, but an awesome way for the Beavers to start their first event.
We'll jump back to vault now with Tara Couture, and from now on we will just go as the momentum takes us here in this first rotation.
Tara will also be doing your Yurchenko layout. Big hop back on that landing. Will unfortunately be a bit of a deduction.
Heather Swanson now up on bars for Arizona. Maddie Layden scored a 9.75 for U of A to start off their rotation.
Big Tkachev, a little loose in her form. She was able to save that pack salto. Her hand slipped off the bar a little bit. It just goes to show the strength of these athletes. Finishing it up. Double layout dismount. Hop back on the landing. Tiny mistakes throughout that routine.
We'll jump back over to vault. Destiny Watley on the runway for Sacramento State. And up next for Oregon State, on beam will be Isis Lowry. Both gymnasts waiting for the flag to see who's going to go next. You're now seeing Lowry on the board, ready to mount. And over on vault, now you'll see Destiny Watley on the runway for Sacramento State.
A Yurchenko tuck full from Destiny. She didn't quite get her hands off the table. That prevents you from getting that big block and the height that you look for, but she was able to save it.
Switch back over to beam.
Isis started her routine with a beautiful back handspring layout step out. The composure from these Oregon State athletes on this event is absolutely incredible. They look like they are dancing on the floor exercise, tumbling on the floor exercise, when really they're doing it on a 4-inch balance beam. And that is not easy to do. Beautiful leap combination into that side aerial.
Destiny Davis, a 9.75 for Oregon State before this routine.
Beautiful stuck, front full dismount. After that 9.75 and a perfect beam routine from Isis, you'll see those scores build on balance beam.
We'll switch back over to vault. For Sacramento State, it will be Bella Lamiti.
Another Yurchenko tuck full, a little bit loose form throughout the vault. You want to keep your ankles glued together, the chest up on the landing. Just the little tiny details that the Hornets will look to improve on as the season progresses.
Haley Hendrickson just completed her routine on bars for Arizona. It was a clean routine so far for the Wildcats. Maddie Layden with a 9.75, Heather Swanson with a 9.65. And next up for Oregon State over on beam will be Kayla Bird. Destiny Watley scored a 9.625 for Sacramento State. That's the Hornets' highest score so far on vault. And now we'll switch back to vault. Alexis Belkoff up for Sacramento State. And we'll keep an eye over on beam and bars as well.
Alexis will compete Yurchenko layout half. It does start from a little bit of a higher start value than we've seen from any Hornet so far. She gets a good height off the table, a little bit piked body shape. You want to see the body position completely laid out, reaching for that landing.
Let's jump back over to beam. This is Kayla Bird.
A big wobble from Kayla, unfortunately on her full turn. Sometimes the easiest skills on balance beam are the hardest. Layout full, she was able to finish off that routine really strong.
Lamiti with a 9.55 for Sacramento State. Right now, none of the three events in action. It'll be Mackenzie Kane on bars for U of A. And getting ready to go on vault is Jordan Brent. So we will go with Jordan Brent here.
Jordan's power is showcased on all events, but especially on this one. You'll see her attack that run down the runway, get a big explosive push off the table, and she will perform one of the hardest vaults you will see tonight in a Yurchenko layout full. Big push off the table, good body position throughout, just a small hop back on the landing. Best vault so far from Sac State.
Let's jump to bars, where Mackenzie Kane about to begin. The score for Hendrickson came in at a 9.3. So the scores right now for U of A, 9.75 from Layden, 9.65 from Swanson, 9.3 from Hendrickson. And we will
back over to beam, we have Lacey Dagan. Beautiful gymnastics. You see her extension really exemplified from her fingertips all the way down to her toe point. It's nice and smooth. She was able to hang on to that landing, took an extra step back. Just the dismount. Gainer off the end of the beam, stuck landing. The Beavers are hitting those landings, especially on the dismounts, giving the judges absolutely no reason to take any deductions. Back over to vaults, we have Taylor Weber to finish out the Hornets. Front handspring, front tuck, big step forward, chest a little bit down.
Switch back over to bars.
You saw a big release combination. So the judges are looking for those handstands, those skills done in combination in order to build the bonus. Big double front dismount, just a tiny, tiny step back on the landing.
Haley Hendrickson's score was raised up to a 9-4 after the judges conferred for Arizona.
Back over to beam. We have Maddie Dagan now up on beam following her sister.
Huge score for Lacey Dagan, 9.85, 9.9 from one of the judges.
Very well deserved. Like I said, the details are what sets Oregon State apart on so many of their events, especially balance beam. The toe point, the extension, the way they attack each skill. Exhibition vault from the Hornets, Yurchenko layout.
That was Peyton Gillen. You see the dismount on beam for Oregon State.
The smallest hop back. Those tiny little details are what Oregon State's going to want to clean up as they progress into regionals and hopefully a national spot.
Sacramento State finished on vault with a 48.075. Still waiting for the final scores to come in for the other teams. Right now up on bars for Arizona is Maela Lazaro.
Beautiful extensions. Big pack saltos down to the low bar. Little short on that final handstand. Again, you want to see it, handstands right on top of the high bar. Double layout dismount, stuck landing. They're excited about that routine.
A 9.9 for Maddie Dagan for Oregon State. So wins the sisterly rivalry there. A 9.8 and a 9.9, a 9.85 and a 9.9.
Very well deserved. We just saw a huge three-part series on beam.
This is Lazaro for Oregon State. That was Christina Berg on, or excuse me, Zaza Brevandini on bars for Arizona. I misspoke earlier.
Perfect jumps as well. I'm just so impressed with the little details from Oregon State. Everyone's toe point, their extensions are absolutely gorgeous to watch. Just a dismount side aerial to a layout full, stuck landing. I'm not sure she had any deductions in that beam routine. And the team is shouting 10. We'll see if the judges give it to her.
I'm not sure there's ever been a 10 awarded in this building. at least in the last 20 years.
I would be pretty excited to witness that history here tonight.
This is Christina Berg for the Wildcats on bars.
A little short on her first handstand, is really able to hang on to that release down to the low bar. Her hand slips a little bit as well. Just didn't get quite enough height on that release down to the low bar. Finishes it off, full twisting double back, small hop back on the landing.
And we'll end with an exhibition on beam, from Jenna Domingo.
Lazaro scores a 9.925. They did not quite give that to her.
A 9.9 from Judge 1 and 9.95 from Judge 2, but Oregon State wraps up beam with a 49.275 and has taken an early lead. One more score still to come in for Arizona, who currently sits at 48.475.
These exhibition routines are so important early on in the year. Not only shows the coaches what sort of depth they have in the lineup, but builds the confidence in the student athletes. Another hit routine for the Beavers, 7 for 7 over on the balance beam.
That's going to wrap up the first rotation. We'll give you scores here in just a second as the last one is in for Arizona, a 9.8 from Christina Berg. So the back half of the Wildcat lineup carrying the load there. They finish at 48.875. Oregon State in the lead at 49.275. Sacramento State with a season high on vault of 48.075. We'll step aside for a couple minutes. The Hornets will head over to bars. Arizona will go to beam. Oregon State will come to the floor after one rotation. You're watching Hornet Gymnastics on Pluto TV. Back here at the Nest, Sacramento State, Oregon State, Arizona, in a three-team meet, which right now sees the Beavers up top by about 0.4 of a point over Arizona. and a little over a point over Sacramento State. Right now the Hornets will go to bars, Arizona will go over to beam, and Oregon State will be on floor. We'll give you the lineups for all three teams. For the Hornets will be Alexis Belkoff, Destiny Watley, Taylor Weber, Bella Lamidi, Jordan Brent, and Amber Koth on bars. No exhibition for Sacramento State. On beam for the Wildcats, Haley Hendrickson, Avery Stoffacker, Jenny Lung, Zaza Bravandani, Courtney Coles, Kennedy Davis, and then an exhibition from Danielle Nosik. And then Oregon State with a late change, Christina Peterson in the leadoff spot. Destiny Davis was scheduled to go second. She will be out. Maddie Dagan goes, Nia Mack drives into second spot. Maddie Dagan third, Savannah Force fourth, Isis Lowry fifth, and Caitlin Yanish will go sixth. Good start for Sacramento State, though. They are off to a season high on vol, an event that had given them troubles in the past, but now the two big ones for the Hornets coming up, the highest risk of error. When they've hit, they've been well on both bars and beam, but that can be said for a lot of teams. It's just really managing the mistakes.
Absolutely. Bars and beam can definitely be two of the Hornets' strongest events. They're the events where they have the highest start values, they have the skills that are up to the level. It's just a matter of those details, making sure you're not making major mistakes like a fall or a missed combination.
We will rotate through the first event for each one, and it will be Alexis Belkoff beginning for Sacramento State over on bars. I believe. Instead, we'll go to floor to start quickly. This will be Christina Peterson. We'll jump over to Belkoff when she goes up on the bars, and then over on beam right now is Haley Hendrickson, but we'll stay on floor.
Christina opening her routine off with a double tech. Beautiful landing.
We'll jump over to bars right now with Alexis Belkoff mounting.
Alexis starts her routine off with a hop to that pirouette right into the straddle back. Doesn't quite hit the top of the bar on the handstand on that release move. Just a dismount, very short routine, double layout. Pikes her hips down. Unfortunately was not able to hang on to that landing.
We'll jump back to floor for Peterson.
Beautiful leaps. Round off back handspring, double pike, few steps back. You want to open up from that pike position just a little bit earlier, see the landing.
Was able to stay in bounds, however, avoid the further deduction. Haley Hendrickson stayed on her routine for Arizona. A little bit of a wobble on one of the series and was able to stay on, though. And so the first routine done for all three events. Will be Destiny Watley next up on bars for Sacramento State. On beam, it will be Avery Stoffacker for Arizona, and then Nia Mack for the Beavers on floor.
With that fall on the opening routine, the Hornets will look to start fresh with routine number 2. You definitely do not want to count a fall during your lineup. So it's up to Destiny to have a hit routine, set the Hornets back on track.
Yeah, and 8-9 was the score for Belkoff with that fall.
Destiny up now for the Hornets. So start her routine, pirouette, that shoot over handstand to a hex right back up to the high bar. Again, those skills done in combination will add bonus to the gymnast routines. Big full twisting double back, tiny, tiny step on the landing. That's exactly the routine the Hornets were looking for to get them back on track on bars.
Belkoff scored an 8-9 over on Beam. Hendrickson with a 9-7-5 on floor for Oregon State, a 9-6-5. And Nia Mack will start over again. A little malfunction with her music. On Beam right now, those of you watching on the stream.
Back over to floor. A lot of personality in this routine. Nia will start off her routine. First tumbling pass, front layout to that front Rudy. Beautiful extension, beautiful landings on those leaps. Judges are not only looking for 180 degrees in the air, but finishing perfectly forward, completing that rotation on the leaps. Big second tumbling pass, double pike. Again, just not quite opening up for that landing and takes a few steps back. Another hit routine for the Beavers, not quite the execution I'm sure that they are hoping for with those steps back on a few of the tumbling passes.
Stofacher an 8-5 or 9-8-5, excuse me, for Arizona. So a good start for the Wildcats, a 9-7-5 and 9-8-5 out of their first two routines. For Sacramento State, next up will be Taylor Weber, the dynamic freshman.
If you're a Hornet fan, keep your eye on her in years to come. She proved in that opening meet that she is very strong on this event and on balance beam. I know the coaches are hoping to get her into all of the lineups, making her an all-around gymnast.
A 9-5-2-5 the score for Watley.
She starts on bars, big Tkachev. She has that gorgeous toe point, big extensions, very, very dynamic bar worker. This routine is jam-packed but done very quickly. Goes into a mixed grip for that giant. Ends with a double tuck. Step back on the landing. Overall, a good routine. Still some things to clean up, work on, and improve.
We'll jump back over to Beam.
Finishing it up, dismount combination, that leap, side aerial, back layout full to a perfect stuck landing.
With Jenny Long. Now we will jump over to floor here in a moment. We're stepping up is Maddie Dagan.
Maddie is a sophomore for the Beavers. I know that they love having her on the team in the lineup. Goes to show why with that opening tumbling pass, an E-skill front double full. Competing in the Pac-12, you compete with a fan favorite UCLA throughout the year. And I think that the Beavers have stepped up their choreography. All these routines are very engaging, really fun for the fans and the judges to watch. I think they're going to show UCLA why they are tough competition throughout Pac-12 competitions throughout the year.
They're one of the toughest conferences in the country.
Final tumbling pass, big double pike. That landing was absolutely perfect. The Beavers are fired up. Awesome routine from Maddie on floor. Over on bars, we have Bella Lamidi finishing up her routine.
Kayla Weber had a 9.75 for Sacramento State in her routine. Just off her career high. We'll switch back over to beam right now, and up now for the Wildcats is, I believe this is Courtney Cowles.
Finishes off her routine with her dismount, just a little step on the landing.
Next up for Sacramento State will be Jordan Brent. I'll be back on bars. Maddie Dagan a 9.85. Again, some music issues. We'll try it again.
This is Savannah Force. Up next for the Beavers. Opens her floor routine. Huge double pike. Was able to float down, easily find that landing. Again, gorgeous leaps, full extensions, beautiful toe point. Over on bars, we have Jordan Brent. Unfortunately, a fall from Savannah.
Let's jump back over to bars if we can. Jordan Brent up now for Sacramento State on bars.
Finishes off full twisting double back. A little slow on that dismount, lands with her chest down. Not the routine we typically see from Jordan on bars.
We'll switch over to beam. And up now, this is Courtney Coles, I believe, for Arizona. The last one was Zaza Bravandani, who scored 9.8, second straight 9.8, and third score above 9.8 for the Wildcats this rotation.
Comes off on her acro series. This chest finishes a little bit down, not quite square over the beam.
So both Arizona and Oregon State with a fall right now in this rotation. Amber Koth will round out the Hornet lineup over on bars. Kennedy Davis will be up for Arizona on beam, and rounding out the floor lineup, or next up for floor, will be Isis Lowry, the Australian, for Oregon State.
The senior class from Oregon State is a big one. I think they have 8 seniors. They've all been so fun to watch throughout their careers as Beavers. Isis is definitely one that I know has captured the attention of not only the Pac-12, but the entire nation throughout her career.
That's always hard when you have a class that big because it means you have to fill it with the equal numbers and you kind of get stuck in a cycle. I know coaches try to keep the classes balanced, but sometimes it happens, and Hornets had one like that last year, and this year a pretty heavy freshman class as well.
Lots of personality already in this floor routine.
Switch over to bars. Amber Koth up for Sacramento State.
Amber starts off her routine with that shapash up to the high bar, right back down to the low bar with that bail. Didn't quite get to handstand. Also a little short on that final cast. And the pirouette. She hangs on and is able to pull out that dismount.
Jump back to floor.
Round off 1.5, punch front full, perfect landing. We love to see that control where gymnasts can just simply place their foot. It's not even a step. You see her put on that queen crown. She did it on beam. She knows that she is a force to be reckoned with. Perfect stuck landing on that final pass. Awesome routine to get the Beavers back on track after that fall in the previous routine.
Arizona just wrapped up their final beam performance in the lineup. Kennedy Davis went. Oregon State still has one more. Caitlin Yanish will go on floor. Waiting for final scores to come in for Sacramento State over on bars.
Final performer for Oregon State over on floor, Caitlin Yanish. And huge double layout to start that routine. So impressive. Follows it up with a gorgeous front tumbling combination pass, front full, front layout. More great leaps, dancing out of her leap combination, trying not to give the judges any deductions. One final deep breath, last tumbling pass from Caitlin. A big double back. Again, floats out of that landing. Finishes with a huge smile. Great routine for the Beavers to round out their floor rotation.
Sacramento State finished bars with a 48.025. We'll jump back over to bars, actually an exhibition coming up for Sacramento State. Hornets overcame that fall from Alexis Belkoff, the first one up, and pulled out a 48.025 for them. They're at 96-1 right now as a team. Arizona currently at a 97.9, and we're waiting their score should be final now. And then Oregon State at a 97.150 prior to the score from Yanish. They currently have a 905 on their record. So any improvement will go up slightly. They also have an inquiry out as well. We'll see how the two teams stack up before we go to the third rotation. Hornets do have an exhibition coming up. They're not going to exhibition on bars. So that will conclude the second rotation. We'll give you updated scores when we come back. The Hornets go over to Beam. Oregon State will come to vault, and Arizona will go to floor. We're halfway through this competition. It's a close one between Arizona and Oregon State. Sacramento State off to their best start this season through two events. We'll be back in a couple minutes. This is Hornet Gymnastics on Pluto TV. Welcome back to the Hornets Nest. Sacramento State, Arizona, Oregon State in a three-team meet here tonight. After a score adjustment, Oregon State in the lead right now, 98.050. Arizona in second at 97.9. Sacramento State third at 96.1. A good battle between the two teams from the Pac-12 as they are separated by just a tenth and a half. Arizona will go to floor. Oregon State to vault. Sacramento State, we'll see if they can bounce back after a rough week on beam last week at the NorCal Classic. The Hornets started the season pretty well on beam. It was their highest scoring event in the duel against UC Davis. And then
yes, balance beam is one of the Hornets' strongest events. It's just about building confidence, those little tiny details. We talk about it all the time. Stuck landings, perfect combinations of skills, making sure that they're not missing any requirements, building up that start value. And then, of course, the hardest part of any balance routine, staying on the beam. The Hornets are getting into the swing of things in terms of their lineup. Not too many changes.
so we'll see where we start as far as who the first one is up is.
Yurchenko layout full from Oregon State to start off. Unfortunately, she just didn't get her hands back to the table quick enough. Almost did 2 flips in the air instead of getting that push off of the table.
We'll go over to beam, possibly. Actually, floor is going to go on first, so we'll see a look on floor as well as beam.
Freshman Taylor Weber will start the Hornets off on balance beam. That leadoff spot, a big spot to put a freshman. I know assistant coach and beam coach Melissa Genevieve has a lot of confidence in Taylor.
So Hornets right now on beam.
You see opening tumbling pass from the Wildcats. A big front layout into that front Rudy.
Back to Weber now on beam. We'll keep an eye also on Omen for the Wildcats.
Hangs on to those leaps. Again, a little tiny deduction with that chest dropping. You want to make sure that your legs are extended 180 degrees. Hangs on for that landing as well. A good leadoff routine from the Hornets.
A good vault as well for Kayla Bird. You see the end of the floor routine right now for Omen.
She is fired up after that big double pike. Great routine for Arizona starting off on floor exercise.
That was Libby Omen, first time we've seen her tonight. Neither one of these teams, Arizona or Oregon State, have an all-arounder, which is something fairly rare. It's becoming less and less common as these teams are so deep. It's hard to be in the top 6 for every event. But assuming Jordan Brent can compete in all 4 events, she'll walk away with the all-around title.
Yes. A little bit of a different vault. You saw that full twisting entry to that pike off. That should be a 10-0 start value.
That was Christina Peterson. The score for Bird was 9.725. That followed a 9.175 from Mack, who had the fall. Sacramento State up on beam right now with Tara Couture.
First big test for Tara this series. Back handspring to a layout step out. She hangs, tries to fight for that landing, has to come off. Now it's important for Tara to refocus here, taking time. You want to finish no matter what sort of difficulties you have throughout the routine. You want to finish strong. You never know if your score is going to count in the end.
Tara led the team last week at the NorCal Classic, a 9.7 on beam. having some trouble in the season opening meet where she fell 3 times.
Yeah, Tara's a beautiful gymnast. Again, a senior, knows how to handle competition. It's just a matter of her finding the confidence, staying mentally strong. That's the hardest part with balance beam. Just the dismount left for Tara. She finishes with a back handspring into a gainer layout full. Small step back. She was able to recover a lot better than the last time we saw her in the nest.
Oman opened up floor with a 9-7 for the Wildcat. This is Christina Berg up now for U of A.
Christina opens her routine with the E-level skill, that big front handspring double full. She's a gorgeous gymnast, has really long, clean lines. One and a half, front pike. Bounces out of the landing a little bit, shows she has some more power to give, maybe an upgrade later in the year. Final tumbling pass. Front handspring, front Rudy to the big split jump. Not giving the judges any deductions. Finishes it off, 2 back-to-back routines. Really strong routines for the Wildcats. We hop back over to balance beams with Jordan Brent. Big deep breath. Jordan gears up for her back handspring layout step out. Lots of power, good finish. Switch leap to a back tuck, takes a big balance check.
I don't know, I mean, that's the order I have.
And the card is split it wrong.
Well, this matches up.
Right, but you're saying she went
A good side aerial to the split jump. Jordan does a lot of skills in combination.
That's what I have.
You saw over on vault. Yurchenko layout full. She tried to open up, go for the stick. Unfortunately, makes that small hop. Heather Swanson now up for the Wildcats on floor exercise. Opens her routine with a combination. Front tuck through to a big 2.5. Such a beautiful way to do skills in combination, get that extra bonus. Another unconventional combination, back double full punch front. For a while in college gymnastics, we saw a lot of gymnasts doing very standard routines, opening with, double pike, ending with a double tuck. It's great to see teams taking some more risks, adding some new combinations. Back over to beam, we have Peyton Gillen. And finishing up on floor with a double tuck. is Heather Swanson. 3 for 3 for the Wildcats so far on floor.
Jordan Brent with a 9-7 for Sacramento State.
Hayden with that tough combination, split jump into the standing layout step out. Ending her routine with a tuck full, stuck landing. The Hornets have recovered well after that early fall from Tara. Big vault from Oregon State. Great height off the table. Unfortunately lands with her chest just a little bit low. I think she went for the stick, flared out at the end. Just want to make sure that that chest is landing all the way up. On to Kennedy Davis for the Wildcats on floor. Opens her routine. Punch Rudy. A little bit too much power. Has to bounce out of it. Showing off her flexibility in her dance. Great precision. Second tumbling pass, 1.5 punch layout. She got amazing height on that first skill, has to kind of crank that second skill around. Beautiful back handspring layout step out from Kendra Breda for the Hornets over on balance beam. Beam coach Melissa Genovese playing with the lineup early on in the year, putting people in some different spots. We typically see Kendra in that leadoff spot on beam, putting her towards the end of the lineup, hoping to increase her scoring potential. Ends her routine, beautiful stuck gainer layout dismount off the side. Final two performers for the Wildcats on floor exercise, Courtney Cowles. Courtney opens up this floor routine with a big double tuck, finds the landing. Front tumbling combination, front layout to the layout full. Beautiful flexibility in those leaps. You saw that ring leap to start off her leap combination. great flexibility. We go back over to balance beam. Anchoring the lineup for the Hornets tonight, Amber Koth. She is a beautiful beam worker. She has that precision and the confidence we saw from Oregon State and Arizona, really setting her apart in the Hornets lineup, starting off with a beautiful triple series back handspring to the layout step out, finishing it off with that back handspring. Leap combination. She does a ring leap there as well. I'd like to see that front leg a little bit higher, getting that full extension. Beautiful front aerial, pauses a little bit, shows off that confidence. Just the dismount left. She will finish with a back handspring, layout full, stuck landing. A perfect routine from Amber, one of the best I've seen her do. Have one final performer for Arizona on floor. And an exhibition routine over on beam for the Hornets. This is Maddie Layden for the Wildcats, opening her routine. Front through to a double tuck. Perfect landing. Exhibition routine for the Hornets on beam. A little bit shaky combination. Comes off on that back tuck.
Well, Dallas has been giving you the action. An interesting turn in the scoring. Oregon State went out of order on vault, and we'll have a 1/10 team neutral deduction. So we've been trying to figure that out. Something you don't see too often, but it happens, and sometimes a 10th can make a big difference in a meet.
Absolutely, especially with Oregon State and Arizona going into that third rotation. So close together in terms of a score. Every little thing counts. Unfortunately, Arizona had an injury in their second to last routine.
Doing a last minute check of the scores. They come in, still missing the one from Arizona. It's still out there. Sacramento State scored 48-6 on beam. That is their highest score of the night. They are currently at 144.7. Oregon State scored 48.4 on vault, taking them to a 146.45. Arizona is currently at 145.625, and I believe that's where they'll stay based off the injury that happened to Courtney Poles had the injury, so Maddie Layden's score should take them up. It'll be a very close battle between the two teams. We will go to the final rotation. Sacramento State to floor. Arizona will go over to vault, and Oregon State will be up on bars. We'll come back and give you an update. This is Hornet Gymnastics on Pluto TV. One rotation to go here at the nest, and it is a close one between Arizona and Oregon State for the top spot. The Wildcats scored 146.375 after 3 rotations. Oregon State just ahead at 146.45. So a 1 3/4 difference between the two, and that includes Oregon State having that 1/10 deduction on vault for going out of order. Sacramento State at 144.7. The Hornets poised to go over 192 for the first time this season if they can hit here on floor. And Sacramento State will have the following lineup: Kendra Breda, followed by Alexis Belkoff, Tara Couture, Anna Leroy, Jordan Brent, Taylor Weber, and then an exhibition from Amber Koth. Over on vault for Arizona, Danielle Nosek, Jenny Lung, Heather Swanson, Kennedy Davis, Malia Hargrove, and Maddie Layden. And for Oregon State on bars, Colette Yamaoka, Isis Lowry, Kayla Bird, Alyssa Minyard, Hallie Briscoe, and Sabrina Gill, with Jenna Domingo doing an exhibition for the Beavers. A little bit different floor lineup for Sacramento State than what we've seen.
Yeah, floor is an event a little like vault, where the Hornets are still trying to feel out what skills are ready for the competition floor, which order is the best, which gymnasts have the confidence to go up and hit a routine under pressure. Oregon State will start off the fourth rotation on bars. Just like we've seen the entire night from the Beavers, those little details are really going to be shown off on this event. Hit handstands, beautiful long lines, extended toe points. Little bit of a mistake on that first event. She covers it up well.
Colette Yamaoka.
When you have to go back and do those extra kip cast handstands, it's really hard on your stamina, on your strength for the rest of the routine. Takes a few steps back.
Quickly jump to vault. Danielle Nosek for the Wildcats.
Starts off the Wildcats, big Yurchenko layout full.
And for Sacramento State on floor will be Kendra Breda.
Kendra is great for the Hornets in these leadoff positions. Starts her routine with a nice controlled front Rudy. Second tumbling pass, front layout, punch front full, undercuts her rotation a little bit, has to take a step back. You saw the end of that beautiful Yurchenko layout full from the Wildcats on vaults. Back over to floor. Kendra finishing up with her last pass. Double tuck dismount, not enough rotation, has to put her hands down.
So second time through the four rotations, the Hornets have had a fall in their opening routine. They were able to bounce back on bars and salvage a 48.025 in that rotation, but it really puts you back in a corner for the rest of the team. A lot of pressure on them.
It does. It puts the rest of the lineup in that spot. They know they have to go up and hit their routine. Knowing you start hopefully wanting to drop that score, you not only want to hit a routine, but you want to put up a big score, helping your teammates out, building that momentum. They lose that momentum right off the bat. Unfortunately, a lot of these mistakes from the Hornets seem like they come towards the end of their routine. It just goes to show they don't quite have the numbers under their belt to start the season off.
Good start for Arizona on vault, a 9.7 from Nosek and 9.75 from Lung. That was Swanson that just went for the Wildcats.
We've seen really dynamic vaults from the Wildcats. They'll look to go for those stuck landings as the season goes on.
A 9.35, the score for Colette Yamaoka.
Isis Lowry up for the Beavers, over on bars. Opens her routine with that shaposh up to the high bar. Packs salto right back down to the low. Just the dismount left. She winds up. Let's go for a big double layout. Hop forward.
Not sure how she saved that. Looked like she came in very short on the landing.
A little bit slow in her rotation. Just let go a tad early. We have Alexis Belkoff up for the Hornets on floor. Over on vault, another huge Yurchenko layout full. A little bit of a stiff landing from Alexis on her opening tumbling pass. 1.5 to that front layout. She struggled with that in the opening meet in the nest. A great improvement. Her teammates and the crowd clapping along, giving her an extra bit of energy as she takes a big deep breath for her final tumbling pass. Will end her routine with a double tuck. Chest just a little low, but a hit routine, a good way to get the Hornets back on track after that opening stumble.
Meanwhile, over on vault, Arizona has been on fire. A pair of 9.8 since the last time we saw you, Kennedy Davis, with the most recent one, and then we just saw Malia Hargrove go for the Wildcats.
Really dynamic vaults from the Wildcats. A lot of height off the table.
So Arizona right now pending that 5th score. Off to a very good start, nothing lower than a 9.7.
Kayla Bird in the 3rd spot for the Beavers over on bars, a little short on that handstand at the high bar. Opens up for a huge Tkachev. So much height over the high bar. Just the dismount, full twisting double back. She was able to hang on, save that landing, a little bit too much power.
Prior to Bird, Isis Lowry had a 9.675, and now back over to vault for Arizona, and this is Maddie Layden.
Maddie Layden, a huge Yurchenko 1.5. That vault starts from a 10.0, the first one we've seen all night.
So Arizona before the vault from Layden at 49.025, and that score is surely to rise as they're counting to 9.7, so a fantastic finish for the Wildcats to take control of this meet up right now currently at a 195.25, and probably take them somewhere near the 195.3 mark, maybe higher. Alexis Belkoff, a 9.525 for Sacramento State. Hornets trying to get to a 192. And Tara Couture will be next up for Sacramento State on the floor.
Tara will start off her floor routine, first pass, round off back handspring through to the double pike. A little bit of an unnecessary step back. Not quite controlled out of the landing. Catching a little bit of Alyssa Menard's bar routine. Beautiful handstand on top of the high bar. Winding up for her dismount. Big double layout. Stuck landing. Beavers are excited for that one.
Arizona a 9.875 for Maddie Layden. They will finish with a 49.05 on vault and a 195.425 for the meet.
Final tumbling pass from Tara. Front layout, front full. Just wasn't able to get that front full turned around enough. Has to fall, take a fall.
Oregon State, excuse me, will be up on bars right now.
Hallie Briscoe starting off her routine with a blind change to a Jaeger. Beautifully done. Great handstands, beautiful extension. Uneven bars is typically one of Oregon State's best events. They're showing you why right here. Those little details. She finishes up with a big double layout. Stuck landing. Saw it in the background.
Now back over to floor. Anna Leroy, the freshman. Had a good performance at the NorCal Classic last week.
We talked about it in week 1. She has a lot of expressions in her floor routine, loves to dance, loves to show it off in front of her home crowd. Rudy into a back tech. Good lead combination. Final tumbling pass from the freshman. Round off, whip back to a back double full. He's excited for that hit routine.
Much needed routine for the Hornets after they're already counting a fall here on floor. It'll be Jordan Brent followed by Taylor Weber for Sacramento State, and then an exhibition performance.
We have the anchor Sabrina Gill over on uneven bars.
9.85 the score for Hallie Briscoe for the Beavers, and so that will be their high.
Sabrina, typically a routine to watch for the Beavers. A little bit of an awkward catch on that release up to the high bar. Elects to come off, take her time, reset. She does her opening skills in combination, so she will start from the top. Toe hand.
Scary fall that time.
She gets up, looks okay. Not what you hope to see.
Looks like she's going to try to go again. Anna Leroy with a 9.7 for Sacramento State on floor. That's their highest so far. And now Jordan Brent will be up.
Good score from Anna. They'll look to build on that. One of their best performers on floor in Jordan Brent right here. Jordan opens her routine with a huge double pike. Goes for the stick, opens up. The one routine, Jordan lets her personality show. Front layout, front full, great landing. Having a little fun, performing in front of all of her friends, her teammates on the sideline. Final tumbling pass, round up back handspring, double tuck. big step back on that landing, but she's able to save it.
Good performance by Jordan Brandon. She hobbles off the floor. Stretching that left leg. Not a good sign for the Hornets, as Brent has been their top gymnast throughout this season. Hopefully she's okay. Taylor Webb will anchor the Hornet lineup today, making her competitive debut on floor. Has performed an exhibition. So it'll be Jenna Domingo on an exhibition.
And Taylor Weber anchoring the Hornets on floor. A big spot for the freshman. The Hornets are already counting a fall. It's important for a hit routine right here, so she starts off, big double pike, is able to hang on to that landing. Opened up just a smidge early, probably going for that stick. Second tumbling pass, front layout. Probably look to upgrade that in the future, getting a little bit more bonus in that combination pass. Big deep breath. Last tumbling pass from the freshman. A back double full. She loses a little bit, not finishing her routine with what the judges classify as an up to the level skill. Which just means her start value will start a little bit lower. Huge exhibition routine for the Beavers over on bars. You saw massive release skills and that unconventional front pike half dismount.
That was Jenna Domingo. The Hornets will have one more exhibition coming on floor. It'll be Amber Koth to wrap things up. And apparently the Hornets will not exhibition on floor. So they're going to wrap that up. And so the final scores, barring any inquiries out there right now, Arizona pulls off the win with a fantastic performance on vault. They scored 195-425 on the night. Oregon State 194-875. Sacramento State will await the score from Taylor Weber, which will be here momentarily. Currently at a 191-45, but the Hornets counting a 8875 right now towards their total. So a chance to get to the 192 mark for the first time this season.